resent this aspect about him. He is 17 and she is 15, and ever since she came out as lesbian 6 months ago, he has made her life hell. She understands that he has picked up many traits from toxic male podcasts he listens to which advocate for homophobia and misogyny. My daughter, very calmly, told me that her brother had exposed her to the whole school. His rationale for exposing her was, I wanted her friends to know. You can't keep such a disgusting secret from people. The fact he used the word disgusting made me snap. My homophobic son resents his sister for being lesbian. He exposed her to the whole school and is now refusing to speak to me because I reprimanded him. As a mother, I love both of my children equally, but I can't help but resent the fact that my son bullies his sister. I do not resent him for clarification, I resent this aspect about him. He is 17 and she is 15, and ever since she came out as lesbian 6 months ago, he has made her life hell. It started off with just crude comments, him asking her if she had any bi friends that would be interested in a three-way, or him asking when she was going to dye her hair pink. My sister has been trying to be understanding as best as she can, and she never argues or engages with him. She understands that he has picked up many traits from toxic male podcasts he listens to which advocate for homophobia and misogyny, and she is hoping he grows out of those eventually. The problem is, that over the last 6 months, not only has he not improved in his views and acceptance, he has really regressed downhill. He has gone down a dark and deep red pill rabbit hole, and has started disliking women in general, and especially lesbian women. He now states that lesbian women are against God, that they should know that their place is to bear children, and surrogacy or adoption are not the holy way. I have tried to talk to him about this a lot. But any attempts which I usually make are shot down by him. He literally tells me to shut up because I'm a woman. He said this to me about a month ago when I tried to talk to him about the things he says and does to little sister, which I'll get to in a minute. When he told me to shut up, it hurt deeply, and my husband actually yelled at him. My husband is a very calm and peaceful man, but when my son told me to shut up, my husband stopped in. Who the F do you think you are? Telling your mother, the woman who raised you and loved you every day of your life, to shut up. Get the F upstairs and into your room, you ungrateful jerk. Come back when you're ready to apologize. And so my son went upstairs. He came back an hour later and apologized to me, but I don't know how sincere the apology was. Our relationship has been very strained since, and last week my son totally crossed the line. Him and our daughter go to the same school, and my daughter, although coming out 6 months ago, has been quite secretive about it. She tells me that her intimate orientation does not define her, it is simply an aspect of her. She does not feel the need to come out to her friends, as she does not see it a huge deal. I'm incredibly proud of how mature she is, and I agree with this sentiment of hers. Anyways, I'm sure you can guess what happened. My daughter came home from school one day and she asked me if she could talk to me privately. I said of course, and we got to conversing. My daughter, very calmly, told me that her brother had exposed her to the whole school. When she went into school today, all of her friends were asking her if she was bi. When she asked them how they found out, they told her that her brother had told them all. Her friends were all mad at her for keeping this a secret from her, and have now outcast her from her friend group. My daughter told me that she does not care much about that. The fact that her friend group is willing to outcast her over this means they're not people she wants to be friends with anyway. How mature is she? Goddamn. Anyway, she did tell me that although she does not care much, the fact that her brother went against her wishes behind her back hurt her a lot, and understandably so. I comforted her a lot and she eventually cried a little. I held her for a while and went to talk to my son. The talk went about as well as you'd imagine, which is not well at all. His rationale for exposing her was, I wanted her friends to know. You can't keep such a disgusting secret from people. The fact he used the word disgusting made me snap. I retorted back, you know what's actually disgusting? 17-year-olds like you who act like they know it all. Who think they're high and mighty and allow themselves to speak to the women in their life the way you do. People who look down on family for things like being lesbian, that's disgusting. You're supposed to be a good role model for your little sister, but you're pushing her away. If anyone here is acting in a disgusting manner, it's you. He then snapped back, and proceeded to yell at me. We had a yelling match for about a minute before my husband came into the room and separated us. My husband ended up taking my side and we heavily reprimanded my son for his attitude. We figured that an appropriate punishment for him would be to take his electronics away. Considering all he does is listen to podcasts, he was outraged about this. Over the past week, our relations have not been great. I still cook for him, but we don't even make small talk. He outright refuses to speak to me until he gets his phone and iPad back. It does tear me apart on the inside, but I refuse to let my son walk over me any longer.